very beautiful name. And this person, he's a thinker, he's a writer, he's helping business people, and he loves people very much. So not very often we have guests from Finland, and I love this country very much. When I was living in Moscow, every weekend we were going to Finland, to that extent that it almost 15 times we were there, because I love it very much. My first question to Petri is about fear in pandemic. It is written in Petri's LinkedIn, Twitter, and everywhere that I'm saying something nobody said before. Of course, it's very intriguing. And today, my friend called me from Moscow and she said, Olga, this is such an unknown world. I don't know, should I do vaccination or no? I don't know, should I travel or no? I don't know what to do because I don't know what will happen in 1 month. And I think this is really the era of uncertainty. We don't know even where our kids will be studying, what will be our job next year. That's why a lot of people are building brand. I think for Petri, he built a brand that I want to confess everything. He looks to me like a person from the church, a priest or somebody I want to share my secrets with and to ask advice. So dear Petri, what about fear? What you will recommend for people who are afraid? What is fear in pandemic? And why there is a lot of fear nowadays?
Well, it's obvious. As you said, we live in extreme uncertainty at this time. It's been a number of years that I've used the phrase "uncertainty is the new black," but that doesn't apply anymore. We are way beyond that, because saying that uncertainty is the new black, it would mean that it's a passing phase. But at this time, I feel that we have, for the foreseeable future, we will be staying in uncertain times. And when thinking about how to cope with the fear that the uncertainty provokes, probably the first and most important thing would be to acknowledge the fear. I mean, to be open about the fear and to acknowledge the fact that we're all afraid. Everyone in the world is in the same place. None of us know what the future will bring, and the sheer fact that it's a common experience. We all feel it. It should bring some comfort in the situation. But in this world, at the time of Corona, the exception is the level of the.
Sorry.
That's okay. I thought it was mine. So, so the exception is the level of uncertainty. I mean, I was born in the 70s, and everyone who was a child during the first half of the 80s and can remember the Cold War, we know what living under extreme uncertainty can feel like, and it can be a paralyzing thing, and therefore we have to find some kind of way through these times. Uncertainty as a feeling, it's unbearable for people. A brilliant thinker, the Polish-British sociologist Zygmunt Bauman, wrote of liquid fear, which was about 10 years before the pandemic, and Bauman described liquid fear as a ever-present fear, a feeling in life where people don't know what the fear is about, when something bad will happen. They just know something bad will most certainly happen, and they have no way of trying to prevent it. And that, in the absence of a better word, that kind of feeling is toxic. But as I said, it's common now. But when tackling the issue of fear, there are really two most important concepts. One, obviously, is faith. Faith in the well, we don't have any proof of anything. We don't have any concrete evidence of the future. We only have faith, and the only faith that probably is required is that there is a fair chance that things will turn out okay. To have faith in that we don't know for a certain that things will go from this to worse. They can also go from this to much better. And the other important concept is trust. Trust between people, between nations, between people and institutions. That is of the essence in tackling fear. Of course, the bad thing in today's world is that humanity seems to be going to the opposite direction, towards constant suspicion. There's a good so-called litmus test to see if there is trust, which means that when people look at each other or people look at companies or institutions, when they ask in their own minds, if they got to decide by themselves, would they want good things for me? If the answer is yes, then there's trust. But my worry is that under a time of suspicion, people in their minds answer, if they got to decide, they would destroy me because everybody's out to get me in today's world. And that's the real problem that we're facing.
So, Petri, you are thinking that unfortunately that the humanity now become more cruel and there is more suspicious, and you think there is not much trust between people and between nations. So in your mind, it's quite a pessimistic approach what you're seeing in the world now.
No, I'm not being pessimistic. I'm just saying that in this day and age, when there's the level of trust is shrinking, the level of suspicion is rising, there's a pandemic going on in the world, and even before the pandemic, the level of uncertainty was, as Zygmunt Bauman said, quite high. What I mean is that at these times, it is absolutely necessary that people recognize these phenomena. People see this and people act accordingly, so that the development that is undesirable, it won't come into effect. That's what I mean.
I see, Petri, I see what you're saying, definitely from your point of view as a thinker, as a writer, as a person from Finland, which is also quite unique country and quite famous for many things like Nokia, education. It's interesting to know what is your way of thinking. And I know that you are very interested in the topic of sympathy and empathy. In my mind, sympathy and empathy, they are almost the same concept. They are very close, to understand the person and to feel connected with him. But you say that sympathy is empathy a little bit different. What is this in your opinion, sympathy and empathy?
Well, I'll say that these both of these concepts, both sympathy and empathy, are very important also at this time. The way I see it, sympathy is a feeling where people, where someone feels bad or sorry for another. That you feel that when you see someone or encounter someone who you feel is less fortunate, who is in a bad situation, and you wish them better. But the difference to empathy is that with empathy, you really feel the pain of the other, which means you can actually imagine yourself being in the same position. So you're not looking at that as an outsider, but you can imagine yourself being in his or her shoes. And in this kind of world, or actually in any kind of situation, empathy is the necessary superpower whenever confronting human beings. It is of the essence.
It was a very funny story that happened with me in Finland. I was in some good hotel, and from the window, I was seeing that one person fell down in the snow, and
Mm-hmm.
he was lying down in the snow. It was a weekend. I was calling ambulance, and I say, quickly, please come. But
Mm-hmm.
they said, no problem. Maybe it's weekend. Maybe some people drink a lot of something. They
Mm-hmm.
came and they told me, Olga, what are you doing? This is the person, he just was drinking a lot. And
Yeah.
in my mind, it was very crazy because this person fell down in the snow. And the ambulance come, but they didn't take him away. They just helped him to stand up. And I think it can happen in any person who is celebrating birthday or something. He just overdrink a little bit. But I was thinking that maybe from my side, it's not good to feel that empathy because I make that person feel shy because I even called the ambulance.
It's a bad connection. Your picture froze, at least for me. You're back?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm sorry. This anecdote was very bad. That means the internet stopped this anecdote. That means it's not right. We cannot talk about that somebody. But also they say that Russian people drink a lot and, it might happen with anything. My last question to you is about the education in Finland. It's considered to be one of the best in the world. And a lot of people, they follow the Finnish education system and they think that it is very, very unique. What is the best thing about Finnish education in your mind?
Well, first of all, I have to remind you that 2 weeks ago we got the latest World Happiness Report, and Finland was, for the 4th year running, the happiest country in the world. And there's a connection. I feel there's a strong connection with the essence of being a Finn and the essence of Finnish education. But when I take a closer look at Finnish education, I feel that there's really no secret. It's well-educated, well-paid teachers with good work ethics and a sufficient amount of autonomy in their work, which means uh, the individual teachers, they are the artists that paint the beautiful paintings that our children will be as adults, education-wise. They have the freedom to be good in their work. There's minimal bureaucracy or guidelines or guidebooks apart from the shall we say national level strategy that is set by the state. But beyond that, teachers have full autonomy to decide uh, how to complete their task, their mission. And I feel if I have to point out one particular secret of the Finnish educational system, it has to be the quality of the teachers, no doubt.
It is the quality of the teachers, Petri, and also what you said is very important. It's the freedom for the
Yes.
teacher to do what he wants, to make the system how he likes, and even the freedom of children. They can go out in the street, they can study the nature, not in the small classrooms, but going outside.
It's much easier to understand that the importance of the freedom when you consider that which would you want the teacher to strive for. Is it more important for the teacher to feel that they are doing that the state thinks that they are doing the right thing, or is it more important that the teacher thinks actually that what she or he is doing with the child, with the pupil, is beneficial for their future?
I can
So
see, it is very, very.
you froze again. I suppose I could try singing, but I won't.